This chapter speaks about second phase, a time period from 1905 to 1916. Almost. How many years? 9 years. We speak about what happened during this phase. This phase created something very important. Number one, partition of Bengal. This phase created something important, Surat split. This phase introduced to you a new type of leaders called as the assertive nationalists. And we speak about three leaders in detail: Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Lala Lajpat Rai. Let's see the first thing which happened. Lord Curzon partitioned Bengal in 1905. Lord Curzon partitions Bengal. Look at the screen for reference in 1905. He divides Bengal into two parts. What was Bengal before partition? This photo which you can see was Bengal before partition. It was an entire unit which was one big state. The correct word is not state. The correct word is called as, anybody? Very good. Kaun bola? Very good. At that time, they were called as provinces. This was mentioned earlier to those who have attended previous lecture. The notes presentation is completely up to your reference and your suitability, your convenience. You can use pencil, pen, highlighter, same color, different color. Please be very comfortable in your note. But you have to mark up for sure. You have to mark up. Confirm. This is your province. This is called as the Presidency of Bengal. This was called as the Presidency of Bengal. What did Bengal have at that time? Bengal had Seabob. Seabob. Here, Seabob. C for Chota Nagpur. B for Bengal. O for Odisha. B for Bihar. This entire thing was called as Seabob. For your reference, not in real. This entire photo which you can see on the map is called as Bengal at that time. Total area 489, 500 square kilometers, 80 million population. Don't worry, figures they don't ask. This is just for your reference. In other words, it was an heavily populated province. This date very important, short coming in your first exam of your school. Yes, date. Gift you a Jaguar car if this question doesn't come. Each and every one of you will get a Jaguar car from me. I promise. Sure, this is coming for sure. The date on July 20, 1905. There are very limited dates to be learned over the course of your entire syllabus. This is one of them. As and when we progress, you will be kept updated. As and when we progress, a list will be sent. You please learn these specific dates only. This is one of the for sure dates. Short Jaguar car will come to your house. Real wala, if this date doesn't feature, because not 1 year has gone where they have not asked you this date. This date is very important for the day after board paper also, which they are going to attempt. July 20, 1905, Lord Curzon announced the partition of Bengal. You can see on the screen here in the map. He says we are dividing Bengal into left side and right side. He didn't say left side and right side. He said we are dividing Bengal. What are the two sides of Bengal now? The first one will be called as Bengal. What is Bengal made up of now after division? Please write there Bob. Perfect, Bob. Bihar, Odisha and Bengal proper. Proper मतलब उस area. So वो part वो time का Bengal. Here, if you see here, if you want detail में Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, Chota Nagpur. Chota Nagpur में here you can see Ranchi. Ranchi से famous cricketer is come if you follow cricket. Confirm, this was called as Bengal. The population will now reduce from 80 million to only 54 because it's got divided. Calcutta is the capital. The right side of Bengal, here if you see, it's already mentioned. It will be called as BA or AB, Amitabh Bachchan. Just for reference, not AB actually. A for Assam, B for Eastern Bengal. So Bengal became half Bengal and half Bengal. For your reference, you can see, no one asked me, sir, Bengal is on both the sides now. Full Bengal became half Bengal this side, half Bengal. यहाँ पर उसका नाम आया Bengal proper, यहाँ पर उसका नाम आया East Bengal, which further later became your Bangladesh. We only helped them become Bangladesh. Eastern Bengal, districts of Bengal proper, Assam, population reduced to 31 million. Total of both sides add up to 80 approximately, but don't learn figures, don't worry. Dhaka was the capital. Today also these two capitals remain very similar. Calcutta is the capital of West Bengal. Dhaka stays the capital of East Bengal, that is Bangladesh. Now, can I go ahead?
Become as a short answer and it will become an MCQ.
I'll explain. Don't worry how the question will come, I'll explain. In this time phrase, my aim is to put across the matter. What type of question, how to answer the paper good question, how many marks, how many points, framing, everything will be taught to you separately. At this moment of time, you just have to focus on one and one thing only, that you understand what is on the screen, what you are learning. And it's obviously not science. I'm teaching you history. You understand what is learning so that when you go home, you can revise. For how to revise, that is for how many marks each question, what framing and what everything, and for when you will be updated in advance. Okay? My time frame at this moment only allows me to explain the matter. In both these situations or in both these sides, Bengali, that is Hindu Bengali, bracket circulate, became a minority. Second date, very important, short. Jaguar car coming again to your house. The scheme was implemented after approximately 6 months. Am I right? July to October is what? 7 to 10. After 4 months, approximately 3.5, 4 months. On October 16, 1905. Please learn both the dates. One was an announcement date, one was an implementation date. Both were by Curzon only. It was attack on the Indian nationalism. Can I go ahead? October 16, 1905. Fast forward to 11 years later, Shah Rukh Khan movie. The partition was revoked on 1911. 6 years later, they revoked it. What was the revoke ka meaning? Revoke ka matlab, sorry? Yes, they removed it and reintroduced. So remove and then reintroduce. In other words, you can also use the word renewed it. Whichever word you want to use, revoke matlab they removed it and brought a set different plan in. One important question to mark there, which is already bracketed. During this phase, our capital of India shifted. I will do the answer for your understanding. Please mark. They revoked the plan in 1911. 6 years later, fast forward, they changed the plan. A new scheme will now be implemented. What they said? बोला ये जो diagram है, East Bengal and West Bengal, we are going to rework this diagram again. This map is going to get reworked again. A new scheme will be implemented. That is, this scheme will be based on bracket that please linguistic rather than religious grounds. Linguistic matlab fantastic language. Very good. This scheme will work on language rather than religion. So they said now we are going to divide Bengal into Hindi, Oriya, and Assami speaking states. So look here, first Bengal, then two Bengal, half, then small Bengal, which are nothing but, as you must have easily understood by the name, these are Todeka states which are present in country today also. Revising that word, they said we are going to rework the plan on language base. We are going to separate language based provinces. Hindi, Odia, Assami will be separated from Bengal. Taking you to the map, here if you see, that's what is there today also. Hindi is Bihar, Oriya is Odisha, and your famous T, that is T comes from Assam. Well, first it was one unit, then it became 2 units, now it will become now smaller units, more small. Bengal will become apna khud ka West Bengal, which is there today. Then there was East Bengal. Then they turned this into Chota Nagpur area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if I'm not wrong. 6 to 7 areas it broke down into. 6 areas to be precise. The one big Bengal over the years of 6 years of implementation has broken down into 6 different states. Now, which is there today also. Bihar, Assam, Bengal, and so on. And during this time, please bracket, Now they said Bengal ko to we broke down, right? They said now Bengal is broken down. A big state which was creating problems for the British is broken down into 6 small states. Now they can't create problem for us. Those who understand, they did divide and rule. Now they said now the capital of India will shift from Kolkata to Delhi. For those who didn't know, up till now the capital of India under the British is Kolkata. Moving ahead, next part, short. One more chance to win a Jaguar. You get a car of your color of your choice. Color of your choice. If you want a pink car, I'll give you a pink car. Color of your choice. What was the main motive? The main motive to break down Bengal, they said, was administrative necessity. British is just like your friends. Huh? When they tell you they don't study, they actually do study. Samjha? What they told you and what they did was completely opposite. What they told you that we are doing it on administrative necessity. Very important. Huh? Very important keyword. We are doing it for administrative necessity. It's too big to be efficiently managed. That's why we are breaking it down. That's what they said. But what was their real or concealed motive? Concealed matlab hidden motive. What was that hidden motive which they had? They wanted to divide and rule Bengal on the basis of religion. East Bengal was Muslim majority, West Bengal became Hindu majority. जो आज भी है. West Bengal is Hindu majority. East Bengal became Bangladesh because it was an entirely Muslim majority. Understand, before 1905, they used to live together as one unit. British created divide and at that time, Bengal was the nerve center of nationalism. This you studied last chapter, that was chapter number 2 and 3, where you saw a lot of leaders were coming out of Bengal. You remember those who were there with me last lectures? Surendranath Banerjee, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, W.C. Banerjee. These are all names which tell you that they are from Bengal. Bengal was growing in nationalism. Everybody was talking about Bengal. Well, as soon as you talk about Bengal, let's break it down so that it doesn't create a threat for British. And the last one, to curb the Bengali influence. Bengalis are very modern. Bengalis are very modern. At that time also, they were very modern. Their thought process was far better than or modern as compared to other parts of the country at that time. So they said we will reduce the Bengali influence in Bengal only. Bengalis became a minority in their own state, thus curbing the Bengali influence. बोला अभी जो करने का करो, you have become a minority in your own state. Hence, this was a very clinically planned partition for the benefit of British, but the reason provided was administrative necessity. Confirm? This was done by Curzon. Now, it was not that India was very good. If Bengali attack, Indian circumstances also never supported. We also used to go and tell them, please, if you've kicked us once, kick us 1 or 2 more times. So that's what happened here also. First, the Bengali Bengal ka problem happened. Then we ourselves went and did a Surat split. Now, what is Surat split? Surat state did not split, but the Congress party split. First, only we were getting attacked from Britisher, and we started fighting among ourselves also. So the Britisher was like, this is a win-win situation. Instead of you fighting me, you are fighting yourself. Fantastic. This allows us to rule for a longer time. Please understand these are some certain points I want to put across. Britisher wanted to rule India for as much time as discussed this before also in the previous lecture. Britishers came with a mindset that they will rule India for ever. This is their hope. Till they don't take every penny from us, they will continue to rule. Any kind of problem like the Surat split only benefited the confirm. That was obviously as time passed, our scenarios changed. We became wiser and then realized that we have to fight capitalism. But it took us from what? It took us chapter 1 to chapter 9 to fight for independence. Thank God British didn't rule us for more time, otherwise you would have had more chapters. So now chapter में लोग चला गया as per the syllabus. अभी बन रहा है. Yes. That's good, right? तुम बोले we saw. Let's see the first one now. Why did Surat split happen? Surat split happened in 4 parts. Swadeshi, disagreement, opportunity to taken by the British. Eventually, our national movement got weakened. Let's see what was the Swadeshi movement. Now, Swadeshi means, for someone who doesn't know, it's going to come in the next part of the chapter. Yes, it's not come in any previous chapters. 3 to 1 में नहीं आया. ये directly 4 में ही आता है. इसका meaning will be there in the 4 का second part. So for now, as he said, very right. Basically, use your only your own goods. Own मतलब own country का goods. Your aim is to use your own country का good. Whether it is any kind of cloth, fruits, vegetables, everything you will only use made in India. वैसा made in China है. वैसे Modi ji has promoted make in India. Today we are making in India. A majority of the things we use are in make in India. That this is basically the same make in India as English version. Your real version, अपना देसी version was Swadeshi. So the aim was, let's see, assertive nationalist. These are the chapter 4 leaders which you are talking about, which you are going to learn in this chapter. Not learned anybody up till now. No one has learned anybody up till now. Chapter 4 leaders said that they wanted Swadeshi and boycott. Please bracket whatever's bracket on the screen. To be taken to the rest of India, which will help them get Swaraj. Swaraj means independence. See, please understand, any time for a national movement, any time to get people together, any time for a national movement, any time to get people together, you needed a common thought process. You needed a common point to fight for. So they said we can use Swadeshi and boycott, make it a common line. Whether rich, whether middle class, whether poor, not poor, don't worry. Everybody will follow the same Swadeshi and boycott. It unites the country. So let's take it to the full of India. This will help us fight a nationalist war and we can get independence. A fantastic idea from assertive side. Chapter 4 leaders. Chapter 3 leaders bola good well. Not working that well. These are chapter 3 leaders. Chapter 3 leaders bola, we will only keep it confined to Bengal. You want to take to rest country, we are not okay with that. Now, why did chapter 3 leaders say that we are not okay with taking it to the rest of the world? We are only okay with keeping it to Bengal is because as per their policy worked on PPP, which we have done last time. You remember chapter 3 may you will do a policy called as 3 P's: prayer, petition, and protest. Last class we did. You remember 3 P's, which is a very famous policy of theirs. Chapter 3 leaders believed in prayer, petition, and protest. Chapter 3 leaders were very educated leaders. Very educated. They believed in the justice system. They said, if I don't like you or if I am unhappy, I will write you a letter. I will take you to court. So if I do Swadeshi and boycott, it's going against my 3 P's. It's going against the policy which my leaders have been following for the last 10-15 years. Are you understanding? Yes. So the policy, there is a difference in the view of policy. They said, I want to stick to my 3 P's. I don't like you, I'll take you to court. I don't like you, I'll write a letter. I don't like you, I'll not tell it on your face. On your face, I'll be always nice. We'll fight the problem in the court, just like someone who is sophisticated would do. Assertive ne bola, if you go to the court, that means the policy remains, the process becomes very, very, very slow. Rather, let's take up a cause of Swadeshi boycott, get the country united, and we will fight a war also if needed. We will come on the streets and fight a physical war also if needed. But for that, we need a common ground, just like you see currently Iran and all these people. If there is a common ground, people come out and fight. Ukraine, Russia war, Israel, Gaza war, Iran, Israel war. If there's a common point to fight, you can come out and actually fight. But if there's no common point to fight, then there is no base. The assertive said we'll make the common point Swadeshi boycott and fight, even if we have to physically fight them out. They said no, we believe in the policy of 3 P's, so we can't support your Swadeshi boycott. Internal conflict happened between leaders. If the leader is only not together, if your captain and vice captain only don't work together, how you expect a team to function? So that became a problem. What happens here? Please bracket point number 2. They sank their differences. Because in the middle, what happened? Partition of Bengal was announced. 1906. So when they were facing an internal problem, Curzon aake bola, I am partitioning Bengal. So they had to stop this Swadeshi boycott ka process at this moment. And now they had to condemn. Condemn means fight. Now they had to fight Swadeshi and boycott ke badle. Now they had to fight partition of Bengal. However, this issue which is currently on is not resolved. Can I go ahead? Yes. Disagreement over the candidature of the next president. Now, see, understand. So, the partition of Bengal went on for 6 years, 1905 to 1911. Yeah. You have to continue fighting for it. It's not a one-time thing. If fight ho gaya, it comes to an end. You have to continue fighting. So, they said in the next meeting of the Congress, there was a disagreement over the president. Why are they fighting over the president now suddenly? Perfect. जिसका भी president बनेगा, whichever group का president wins, their policy comes into the power. Assertive president wins, he will announce that we are taking it to the full nation. Early president wins, he will say we'll keep the policy only to Bengal. That's something called as politics. Something which is happening on the world stage, geopolitics. So there was a fight over the next president. Finally, Dadabhai Nauroji became the president who was respected by both the groups. What does Dadabhai come and announce? Dadabhai now announces something which will be okay to both the sides. He says we will now fight for Swaraj and self-government. Congress will fight for Swaraj and self-government. Can you bracket those words, please? Swaraj and self-government. And the movement, the goal of the Indians and the Swadeshi and boycott will be supported by the Congress. So he said Swadeshi and boycott will be supported by the Congress. ऐसा नहीं है, we are keeping it confined to Bengal. We will take it over to the country, but in steps. We start from Bengal and take it over to the steps. Confirm? He said we are fighting for Swadeshi and we are fighting for Swaraj. Everybody wants Swaraj, right? Everybody wants independence from the British, and we will fight keeping in mind Swadeshi and boycott as the base, starting slowly from Bengal to the country. But ऐसा हो सकता है. Then they said we agree to this, but the other side said we will continue fighting for it. Next session, 1907, 1 year later, which was at Surat. They again fought for the presidency. The assertive wanted who to become president? Lala Lajpat Rai. The early wanted who to become president? Raj Bihari Bose. Their names are important for MCQ. The session began pre-circle with utter confusion. This led to the split in the Congress, underlining that the assertive leaders were removed. For 9 years, they were removed and stayed out of Congress. So the assertive category, which was the Lala Lajpat Rai, who were asking Lala Lajpat Rai to become president, that category which wanted to take Swadeshi boycott to the entire country was expelled. So Sida bola, go. You are removed. Anybody can tell me why were they expelled? Why were the assertive category removed and not the early category removed? Anybody? Why were the early category be able to remove the assertive and not vice versa? Why did the assertive not tell the early you leave? Very good. Early was superior. What else? Very good. Early had the support of the Britishers. So early were superior. They came first. They were the senior leaders. They had the support of the Britishers also, which we studied. Dadabhai stayed in London. Dadabhai stayed in London for a good amount of time. Other leaders also had support from, had traveled the world. They were more experienced. They were more wealthy. One more point. One more very important point. Okay, that's very right. That is basically they had the support of the British. One important point why the early were removed and assertive were removed and early were not. You already last class.
Sir, is it because like the assertive nationalists, So they supported Swadeshi and boycott. So like the Britishers, they couldn't collect taxes from them.
That's okay. Again, the same point that the Britishers didn't like assertive at all. But there was one important point why we are saying within the Congress early removed the assertive. Apart from seniority and support, there was one important aspect why the early removed the assertive very comfortably.
No problem.
No.
They did not cooperate the
No. Where are they removing them from?
The
Congress. So perfect. He's partially right. I was waiting for someone to say that. Basically, who founded the Congress? Early founded the Congress. Dada Bhai. That was from the early category. So Congress किसका था? Early का. Senior leaders का. They were the founders. So they couldn't be expelled. Whereas assertive were the ones who were newer. So they got expelled. Their time range came little later, right? After 1905. Finishing the point, Surat split ho chuka hai. Assertive have been removed. For your future reference, they have been removed for 9 years. They were recalled after 9 years, but that we will study in the next chapters. Why were they recalled and how they were recalled. At the moment, assertive are out. Time limit, no one knows. That only history will say, just like the current war. No one knows the time limit of the current war. That only time will tell you how long the war goes on. So like that, these guys are also expelled. Policy of concession and repression was now followed. Basically, in other words, it's called as divide and rule. Concession towards the early and repressive towards the assertive. Well, are you a part of Congress? No. I repeat once again. Are you a part of Congress? So why should we listen to you? We'll only listen to our early group. And early so used to favor partially the British. We listen to the early group. Are you part of Congress? No. So we are not listening. That's called as concession and repression. Divide and now what happens? In other words, assertive have to get back into Congress if they want to put a voice across. But if they have to get back into Congress, they have to solve the disagreement with the early, which is going to take time. It took 9 years to solve the disagreement. Who benefited? The British benefited. This entirely, the Allahabad Convention formalized the split in 1908, 1 year later, and this resulted in weakening of your national movement completely. Second part of the chapter, who were the assertive leaders? Now introducing you to assertive leaders. They were so called because of their outlook, because of their thought process. Assertive means a little aggressive. Assertive means a little aggressive. They condemned British rule. They held it responsible for country's downfall. They were ready to make all types of sacrifices. He said, if you want to take my life also, I'm ready for giving my 4 keywords there. Their outlook, they condemned the British rule, held it responsible for country's downfall, and they were ready to make whatever sacrifices needed. The famous photo teaches you Lal Bal Pal, which I'm going to teach you on the next page also. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Pal Gangadhar. Important answer, short. Jaguar car coming to you with a driver to pick you up. Car will come to your school to pick you up from home if this question doesn't come. Question has featured in every past year school paper. Differentiate between early and assertive. Yes. We use the concept in grade 10, more the merrier. जितना ज़्यादा लगेगा उतना better. as much as from the textbook or the notes. The notes are a part of your textbook only. It's not that. It's just the notes are little rearranged. Easy answers on top. Newer, not difficult. New concepts on the bottom. Assertive leaders early, they believed in justice and fair play of the British. They held very good positions under the British. This side, assertive were a little on the poor section. They denounced the British rule completely. The assertive did not want complete independence earlier, not absolute independence. Sorry, the early did not want absolute independence. They were okay with partial independence also. Just for your understanding, who were not there last time, the early were those who had seen the world. They had stayed in London, gone into Europe and all, and they realized that British and England as a country is not bad. Later, their perspective changed that colonization is bad. ऐसा नहीं है कि ब्रिटिशर बैड है, ब्रिटिशर अच्छा है. But when he comes to colonizing my country, he is not. His aim is to take my money. In his own country, he is very nice. He'll call me for tea also in the evening. He'll call me for lunch, dinner, everything. But when he comes as a colony to conquer me, his main aim is money. So over the time, their perspective changed. Earlier, they were okay with partial independence also. But over time, early then started also saying, कि जब मेरे घर पे आएगा, he is not good. So why should I ask for partial independence? We can work with full independence. Assertive from the start only wanted full independence, nothing short. Early took their support from the intelligentsia. See the group word intelligentsia. All the intelligent people. Early were rich, early were educated, early had studied in foreign universities. Assertive got their support from the masses. The people. They believed in constitutional methods, they believed in assertive methods, they were inspired by Western philosophers, they were inspired by India's past. Main objective of assertive, short, once more. One more Jaguar car. This time you could take any other car if you want, Lamborghini if you want. McLaren if you want. What is the main objective of the assertive? Is to immediate attainment of Swaraj. Well, Swaraj we want immediately. Wrong thought process? No, absolutely right thought process. But the circumstances gave us independence when? In chapter number 9. This means complete independence, not just self-government like in those countries of Australia and New Zealand. Today also Australia and New Zealand are a part of the British Empire. Although they are independent, they work on their own, but they have a contract with British. Think that kuch bhi ho jaave, we will always support British. India kya bola? Our choice. We can support anybody. We have complete independence. Australia and New Zealand from the start only said, okay, we are okay with British supporting and all. Many factors play a part of that. One of them is their color also. White. We not white. So we said no. No, there are multiple other factors also, not only color. There are various other factors. That was what their thought process was. Our thought process of under assertive were complete independence, nothing short of independence. Sure? Yes. Methods, we did this. This is also important, but repeated. R for repeated. They used constitutional methods. They used assertive methods. Examples were 3 Ps. Example was Swadeshi, boycott, national education, and passive resistance. Send memorandums and policy of non-cooperation. These are some examples. Anya told us, please sir, teach me each method in detail. So my next methods are each in detail. Let's see each for 2 marks. What is boycott? Economic boycott means, make an arrow, that you're not going to use foreign goods. You're going to use only homemade goods, Swadeshi goods. When you use Swadeshi goods, it encourages Indian industry, it encourages employment. You're not going to wear any foreign brand, you're only going to wear Indian brand. That is Indian food and this. Everything India. This will help provide employment. Economic students will get a reference to that. This will provide growth of industry. Tilak MCQ said Swadeshi and boycott go hand in hand. They are two sides of the same coin. If you do Swadeshi, that means you're doing boycott. If you do boycott, that means you're doing Swadeshi. What does Swadeshi mean? Producing one's item without being dependent on anybody. Passive resistance, please mark the name itself is passive means partial. And resistance means, science students, resistance oppose. ये तो साइंस में पढ़ा रेजिस्टर आता है रेजिस्टेंस आता है फ्रॉम बायोस एंड ऑल resistance means to limit or to oppose restrict. So they are saying we are partially fighting their methods, we are partially going against you. It's not that at this moment of time the assertive are not completely out on a street for a war. It's not that they are completely out on a street for a war. They will try and hinder the process wherever possible. They will try and hinder the process. It's not that there's full support. You will get resistance from one side. They believe that the political rights could not be won by an organization, please mark that, who could not distinguish between winning and begging rights. Sorry, who could not distinguish between begging and claiming their rights. Assertive said, we are assertive, we are strong, we are going to show you resistance. If it's my right, I want my right. We are not begging for my rights, we are claiming our rights. Independence is our right. I want to be claimed. That's what the assertive said. They refused to cooperate with the British and boycott every government service, government school, government college, and everything. That's what was their strong outlook. Bola, you're not giving us job, we don't want job. We'll create our own job. You're not giving us education, good well, we'll start our own school. We'll start our own university. We'll start our own government only. Eventually, that's what you learn in the last part of the chapters, where we had our own replaced government ready. As soon as British leaves, you want to leave tonight, you can. Our government is ready, waiting in the stands to take over the action. That's what their mindset was. Obviously, the same mindset was not of the early. ऐसा early नहीं कर पा रहा था, or they were not of their action only or that mindset. Assertive said, whatever you don't allow us, we will do our own thing. Confirm? A national scheme was education was planned. Please mark that word, to replace the government, universities and colleges. Assertive ने तो पूरा scheme ही change कर दिया. They said we start our own universities and our own colleges. Some examples are very important. Yeah, this is a little tasking. You'll have to learn the names. and a little tasking for you personally also because it's on two separate pages. So you'll have to shift the page. For me, it's only on one screen here. East Bengal. See, you can see Bengal. Sabse pehle Bengal was the place. Today also literacy is quite high in Bengal. Bengal was the first place where I said we are starting our own system of education. New schools and colleges were started. Kolkata make name you have to learn. Bengal National College was set up. These are not British controlled, these are Indian controlled. Understand this transition. It's not easy to leave government jobs. It's not easy to leave government education and go to a new course or a new school. But the leaders made the common man believe that come to our education systems, eventually the country will benefit. I give you a simple example. You're in grade 10. Did you work 9 years to reach ICSE grade 10? Yes. What if government comes and tells you we are starting a new scheme? That also not a government, but some national leader comes and tells you we are starting a new method of education. Please join me. Yeah, please join me. तो क्या बोला जाने दे मैं अपना ICSE दे देता हूँ. That's better, right? Change is not so fast accepted when it comes to people. But your leaders are trying as much as possible to accept the change and make it comforting for the common man also. Because if a student joins, then only the college will be successful and then only you will be able to outthrow the government, right? Otherwise, everybody is very comfortable going to government schools and colleges. But in the long run, this doesn't let British go only. Our aim is to get independence and let the British grow. Sorry, go. Chennai, Bengal National College. Sorry, Kolkata, Bengal National College. Chennai, Pachayappa National College. And Punjab, which is very famous today also, the DAV movement in Punjab. The DAV movement in Punjab has grown very big. These were those which started their own schools and colleges. Was it's based on the leader name of the mass movement. They said, unlike your this point which we did, unlike the early, our main support comes from the masses. We want the people to join the movement, otherwise we cannot do anything. So they said mass movement will help us win this, but mass movement के साथ आएगा थोड़ा sacrifice and suffering, physical as well as mental suffering. The British will thoda torture you. Passive personal sacrifices, they said we are okay to self-sacrifice, sufferings, hardship to achieve our goals. And revivalism, again, very important MCQ or for short answer. The early nationalists used the tactic to revive festivals. The Shivaji festival, which recently happened here in Mumbai and Maharashtra, was revived by the early nationalists. The early nationalists presented Chandragupta, Vikramaditya, Rana Pratap, and Shivaji as national heroes whose sacrifices and whose memory could inspire the Indians for the fight of the country. Achievements, I will do any two, but the rest you can go through. They set up educational institutions. They bought into Swadeshi and boycott. They exposed the true nature of the British. Last part of the chapter, 10 keywords or 11 keywords for each leader. Then we finish history, give you small break, then go to job. First one, please see picture study, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Obviously, no, nothing to draw, only to identify. Father of assertive nationalism. What was this he was given? Assertive nationalism. Just for reference, he was from the Maratha family. The name itself tells you Lokmanya Tilak, basically from Maharashtra. He started Pune New Education, New English School, and under the guidance of Justice Ranade, he also started Deccan Education Society. This is considered as point number 2 because it both speaks about one organization or two organizations. So organizations have been put together as a point. Point number 3, forerunner of Gandhi. Please mark short. Forerunner matlab before. Forerunner matlab before. You might not feel nice, but whatever Gandhi did, it was a copy of Tilak. From Tilak. Whatever Tilak did, Gandhi did the similar things. But only the era was far different. The timeline was far different. The methods were same. ऐसा नहीं कि वो fought किया. Obviously, you add your own strategy to it, but the base was similar. Tilak asked for Swaraj, Gandhi asked for complete independence. Tilak went to imprisonment several times. As an example, Gandhi also went for imprisonment. These were the similarities between them. Forerunner matlab someone who came before. Tilak also was working on the same lines. Gandhi also worked on the same lines. Tilak sought close contact with the masses, so did Gandhiji. Tilak preached prohibition, boycott, Swadeshi, which were later also preached by Gandhiji. Tilak's selfless patriotism, determination, and courage gave an inspiration to the masses and started a new chapter in the Indian history. So did Gandhiji's. Please confirm. Basically, Tilak was the forerunner of Gandhi. That means whatever Tilak did, Gandhiji did on the same lines. But as obviously he mentioned, Gandhiji had his own qualities or his own methods also. Copy nahi tha full, but base same tha. Please see, these are all the answers which you need to know for writing. These are all the questions which have come in your previous year school papers with respect to Tilak. Here, Tilak started newspapers. Please learn the names. Maratha in English, Kesari in Marathi. He used fierce language. Please learn the books. Number 5, Gita Rahasya and Arctic Home of the Vedas. Festivals which Tilak brought into the revivalism. Shivaji Festival, we spoke, and Ganpati Festival, which you celebrate today also. Very important, sure. Home Rule League, Tilak started Home Rule League in 1916. Very important. They ask you which was the leader who started Home Rule League. Tilak. What was the aim of the league? To get self-government or self-independence by constitutional means. Tilak was the first one to say Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. His methods were self-defense, patriotism, courage, and so on. As a result, he organized Lati clubs and akhadas. Tilak said we should aggressively demand our rights. 2 leaders more, Lala Lajpat Rai, picture study. 10 keywords again, then I'll give you time to copy if you want. He was called as Punjab Kesari or Shere Punjab. He had a lot of skills like staunch fighter, educator, lawyer, prolific writer. He was the first to link imperialism with and capitalism. Imperialism means colonization. Capitalism means money. Why is someone making a colony? Because they want money. He was elected as the president of the INC, as well as he was elected to the Central Legislative Assembly. Some more works going through these 14 of them. Everybody was part of newspapers and magazines which they used to edit or write. Punjabi, Vande Mataram, and People. Vande Mataram was Urdu daily. People was an English weekly newspaper. Point number 7, Young India was his magazine. Because of his message which he spread through Young India, it was a USA monthly magazine. It was banned in Britain. His other writings or his other publications were Call to the Young India, England's Debt to India, and the Political Future of India. He was associated with Arya Samaj, DAV movement, orphanages, hospitals and schools, and servants of People Society. Number 12, in America, he joined the Ghadar party there. And the last one, very important, in his young India, he used to preach assertive nationalism, patriotism, and hence we can say Lala Lajpat Rai was a very prolific writer. Last leader, then I'll just complete the recording. Till that time, you can copy down. Bipin Chandra Pal, father of revolutionary thought in India. Initially, he was an early nationalist, but after partition of Bengal, he became assertive nationalist. He was a part of anti-partition campaign for the partition of Bengal. He also had joined the non-cooperation movement started by Gandhi. Last 6 points. These were his writings. He worked in newspapers like New India, Tribune, Bengal Public Opinion. British found his writings seditious. Seditious matlab against the British or provoking. Seditious means provoking. This was a very important example of true nationalism. He was asked to testify against Aurobindo Ghosh. Well, you become witness, we will let you go free. He refused to testify against Aurobindo Ghosh. As a result, he was arrested and imprisoned for 6 months in the Vande Mataram sedition case. He wanted national education to be the base. He was against social evil and he said national education will help you fight the social evils. Last point, pay attention, and I'll just give you time to go through whichever you want or whichever page. As a social reformer, very important, what role did he play? He accepted widow remarriage, caste system, interdining, intermixing, educating women to elevate their position. This was what role he played as a social reformer. He said, I'll improve the society on modern thought. As an economic reformer, 48 hours of work, he said. Increase in wages, tax the rich higher, and do Swadeshi and boycott. Please take 1 second. This completes your chapter numbers in a quick manner. I'll come to the page whichever you want.